Wow, what a couple of powerful Bible readings we've had this morning. First, our Acts reading. It's a story of a woman named Tabitha, also called Dorcas, who dies and is brought back to life. Then our gospel reading from John is where Jesus says something really deeply comforting, and it is incredibly important. He says, "My sheep hear my voice. I know them, and they follow me." That's what we're thinking about today. Just 12 words, but within them, a whole picture of what it means to belong to Jesus and to be a faithful disciple, to be a Christian. My sheep hear my voice. I know them, and they follow me. So, this morning we're going to break it down into 3 parts. My sheep hear my voice. I know them. They follow me. So, I obviously haven't got the touch, have I? So, actually, would you like to come round here, please? Sorry, I should have invited you round earlier. You haven't missed anything. It's all going up and up now. So, as I said, we're going to break it down into 3 parts. Firstly, my sheep hear my voice. Secondly, I know them. And then they follow me. So, let's start with my sheep hear my voice. Now, in some of the fields just behind where Howard and I live and where we regularly walk our dogs, I've been watching the sheep. They've given birth to some beautiful baby lambs. We've watched them be fed, the lambs, and we've watched the sheep nurture their lambs. And this week I've even rescued a few as they had escaped. And this is a live picture, okay? This is the 3 sheep trying to escape. Isn't it wonderful? Their little tails were wagging away. So, something I noticed on Tuesday while I was out walking through this field, the shepherd, a modern day shepherd, she came in her truck, okay, and I just stopped with our dogs, and I was watching her as she was guiding the sheep from one part of the field into another part. And it was beautiful to just watch them. They were so confident in her. They obviously recognised her voice as well. And it wasn't about shouting. I felt it was that they were trusting her. It was familiarity, relationship. And this prompted my thoughts on this reading, and in particular on my sheep hear my voice. Now, stop and have a think. How do you hear Jesus' voice? How do you hear Jesus' voice? Well, I've just jotted down 2 or 3 ideas. You may have more, okay, and I'd be interested for you to share those later. I thought, well, sometimes we hear God's voice through the Bible. Those moments when you're reading scripture and suddenly something pops out, doesn't it? And it suddenly sort of makes sense. Or perhaps it may be in prayer. Not always in words, though, but in the quiet of your prayer time, in the silence, you may hear God's voice. And then sometimes it's definitely through other people, isn't it? Perhaps a word of kindness, which reminds me, I hope, in here somewhere, That's exactly what I pulled out last week, so I hope you've got your table tennis balls. It could be through other people, a word of kindness, a challenge, or encouragement at just the right time. And sometimes I believe it's simply a sense that is deep within us, a feeling that is deep within us. Perhaps a nudge, a stirring, a little voice. This is the way. Walk in it. And definitely those God-given coincidences. Reflect back to our reading in Acts, where we meet Tabitha. She doesn't preach sermons. She isn't in the spotlight, but she listens to God through her life. She makes clothes. She serves widows. She helps the poor. Her whole life, I believe, is saying, I'm listening, Lord. I'm just going to hand over to you, please. Thank you very much. Could you move it on? Thank you. Then Jesus says, I know them. Now, this isn't just a casual, oh yes, I've heard of her or heard of him. It's deep, isn't it? It's personal. When Tabitha dies, the people are absolutely heartbroken. The widows gather together and they show Peter the garments that Tabitha has made them. I want you to attempt to imagine them stood there in front of Peter, holding those precious garments up that have been made with love. I'm sure they must have had tears in their eyes. They aren't just showing clothes, are they? They're showing love, Tabitha's love. They're saying, look how much she meant to us. So Peter comes, he prays, he listens, because Tabitha matters, because God knows her. And the same's true for all of us. Jesus knows each one of our stories, not just our name, but our joys, our worries, our doubts, our hopes. We are seen, we are loved, and we are not forgotten. And then Jesus says, they follow me. Tabitha followed Jesus by doing what she could, where she was, with what she had. Peter followed Jesus into a room that was full of grief, trusting that God still had the last word. So, let's stop and think. What does it look like for us to follow Jesus? What does it look like for you, Edward, for you, Jennifer, for you, Pete, for you, Jackie, for you, Christina, and for Charles at the back there? What does it mean? What does it look like for us to follow Jesus? Well, it may be about being kind when others are not. It may be about standing up for someone who's left out. It may be choosing honesty when no one would know. Praying for someone. Giving our time. And also saying sorry. Or saying, I forgive you. Now, following God doesn't mean being perfect at all. It means trusting him enough to take that next step. And when we get it wrong, let's face it, we all do, don't we, at times, God doesn't say, go away. He says, come back. I know your voice too. Pete. Jesus goes on to say, I give them eternal life, and they shall never perish. No one will snatch them out of my hand. What a promise that is, isn't it? Even when we feel uncertain, when life feels chaotic, God is there holding us. No one will snatch them out of my hand. In other words, we're safe. Not because we're strong, but because God is. So, press it once, please. So let's remember these 3 simple truths from one short sentence. My sheep hear my voice, and we must listen. I know them. We are known and loved. And they follow me. We are invited to respond into action. So let's remember to listen, to remember we are known, and then to follow. Put our faith into action. First of all, it's Christian Aid Week. That starts tomorrow, and I encourage you, if you're able to support David Blackmore, he is aiming to complete a 70k bike ride across the month of May to help communities fight the climate crisis. So if you're able to support him, I believe he has a Just Giving page. That would be wonderful. Also, there is going to be, and I've failed to put the day, but it's on the email update. There is a Christian Aid tea time event. I believe it might be next Saturday, actually, at the Manor House, Western Turville. So there's lots happening there for all the family. Tomorrow, Sparklers is back, so please do pop in and join us for a cup of tea or coffee. It's always lovely to see you. Now, next Sunday, remember, you've got to be here a bit earlier. It's our joint service at 10 o'clock, okay? Because afterwards we have our annual parochial meeting. So make sure that you've got that date in your diary because you certainly won't want to miss it. 10 o'clock here for our joint service. And also, so excitingly, we have 3 places on our PCC. So whoever is feeling that nudge that I spoke about, that word, please do speak to me or to Jackie, please, if you're interested or you feel you're being nudged that way. Also, we have another big event which is taking place the following weekend, the 24th of May. Now, this church is going to be full of amazing art. I encourage you to come along and take a look. But also I encourage, to make these things happen, we need people to help. So if you can spare a little time, please take a look at there's a list up on the board at the back. And perhaps you could just jot your name down if you're able to help for an hour or 2, please. And Jackie, I think you've got something you want to say before I finish off.
As you're aware, there's been lots of work done in the churchyard, really since last autumn, and we've certainly benefited from all the wildflowers. We've got our regular volunteers, some ad hoc volunteers, and a new contractor, which is all playing its part. A group of people that have been doing a lot of work are a team from the Community Payback Scheme. Don't always get the same number come, but they have been working terribly hard and they've done so much in a few weeks. I've had a few conversations with them and been thanking them for what they've been doing, and they've just said how much they like coming here, about the peace and the tranquility, and they really feel that they're contributing. And I think that's a wonderful testament to this churchyard. It's such a beautiful place to be, and they're certainly being inspired by it. We have got the Arts Festival in 2 weeks' time, so there's a few little fiddly jobs that maybe some of you could give us an hour of your time. There's certainly weeding around the yew trees, a much easier job than some of the ones they've been doing. perhaps a bit of clearing along the church wall around the funeral plaques. There's some weeds growing up. So if you could help, or if you are feeling a bit more energetic, and do a little bit of strimming around some of the gravestones. Some of it was done this week, but everything's growing so fast at the moment, it doesn't last very long. So if there's any little jobs you could do around the churchyard in the next few weeks, just come along or give me a call or speak to me, and I can point you in the right direction. But it is a testament to the work that has been done over the last few months. So thank you.
I do encourage you to take a wander around the churchyard. It's looking absolutely stunning. Now, also, some of you may know Paul and Alison. Give us a wave, please. They were part of our church family for many years, a good few years ago now. And I thank you so much for joining us this morning. And I believe it's Alison's special birthday today. Very special birthday. So thank you for coming along and sharing. And we would love to sing happy birthday to you. That's a pleasure.